Whoa, the G7 forum is here, okay? Compiled of Canada, France, Italy, Germany, the United States of America, Japan, all the folks who are the world leaders, you know. We have different
Mhm.
geopolitical factors happening in the
The
world. We
big
also
seven,
have
huh?
Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, who are a part of BRICS, but the G7, they're out here saying we are still the top. We are still the leaders of the free world, okay? So much so that I want you to pay attention to the fact that President Donald Trump and Iran brokered this agreement, this peace deal that is set to take place officially June 19th, okay? They brokered this at the time where Trump is heading to the G7 summit. Now, this G7 summit is taking place none other than France, you know, representing the old colonial powers, the prestige of
Hmm.
Western Europe, plus Japan, because we know after Japan, you know, got bombed in World War II, they're like, we're going to join your side and stop being so radical, okay? But look, we need to break this down and what it means for the world economy, what it means for you as an expat, and what it means for you as a retiree or investor abroad.
Yeah, guys, the big seven. These people, I want to say they started in 1975, I believe. Please let me know in the comments. But these are big, like seven countries that works together, right? And they hold 44% of the world's GDP. So
Mm,
that's a big percentage. Seven countries. So you got to think about this. I know earlier this year it was always going back and forth with, I believe, France, and the US, but now they have to meet. So I want you guys to pay attention and realize that these relationships is still important when it comes to a global stage.
yeah.
So when you're thinking about investing, when you're thinking about, um, or I guess I could say when you're listening to what's happening, nation rising against nation, just know that they
Kingdom against kingdom,
have to work together in a way.
power against power. Absolutely. And listen, we want to read CNN. We don't often read CNN, but this is an hour ago. So this is breaking,
Hmm.
just coming out. And it's showing a picture of President Donald Trump and the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, the prime minister, whatever they call him over there in Europe. Okay. But I want you to pay attention to the picture. Like you could be looking at this article with us right now. Pause the video, pull out the article. I'll give you a second while you're pulling out that article. You should also hit the like button because I think it's like right there. And it shouldn't take too much energy. It should just be like tap like
Yeah,
button,
it's free.
and that will really
Hmm.
help this channel grow. And if you watch this channel, you know that this is important information that people just don't cover in the expat world, okay? But we have to cover geopolitics, stability, and what is happening on the world stage. Now, I'm quoting this article. It says, whether any of those matters are clarified by the time Vice President J.D. Vance is expected to attend a formal signing ceremony in Switzerland on Friday remains to be seen. So the article is actually titled G7 Leaders and the Rest of the World Wait for Clarity on the US Iran Agreement.
I'm waiting
And
too.
this is clearly showing you that the media does not even really trust the agreement fully because we have seen agreements like this come in the past few weeks. We have seen peace. There's going to be a proposal for peace.
Trump says,
Allegedly,
yeah.
Iran has agreed and has signed the agreement and said, hey, we are fine with opening the Strait of Hormuz again. We are fine with that if you unfreeze our multi billions, millions of assets that you currently have had frozen
Hmm.
for years, I believe
300
for
billion.
decades.
Yeah,
And we also get to keep our nuclear arms program. And so it actually appears to me now, I
it's not
love
wrong. Yeah.
negotiations as an entrepreneur in our retention marketing firm. I negotiate all the time, create contracts, all of these things. But it looks like Iran kind of won the negotiations because if we think about previously to the time this war went into fruition,
Mm.
the Strait of Hormuz was open, but Iran's money was still frozen and held up, which had really hurt their economy, plunging the Iranian currency down towards zero. Okay.
Mm.
This was before the war even started, but
Yeah.
now they're coming out of the war with the sets that are going to be unfrozen.
Yeah, guys, you gotta realize what is going on, right? So I know we're talking about this, Iran and US. The one big thing that the US wants is not to have Iran with nuclear weapons. So if Iran's saying no, we want to have nuclear weapons, I don't think this peace deal is going to go through. That's just my opinion. Who knows? I believe it's just a ploy to make sure the stock market goes up. SpaceX and things like that. Continue to push up and things like that. And then once, um, the peace deal comes, because I believe you said JD Vance is going to go sign. And remember the last time
Yeah,
JD
Trump said he
Vance,
didn't want to be
yeah,
there.
remember the last time JD Vance went to go negotiate a peace deal, he
Okay.
failed. So
Dang.
that's
Shout
just
out to
something.
Ohio.
Yeah, that's that's just something that's
Oh
just my opinion right
gosh.
there. I don't
Wow.
think it's going to be a successful peace deal, but we will see because the
Yeah.
stock market is going crazy right now. Oil dropped, so it's going to be a couple days of this,
Mm.
but we still got a whole another 3 4 days until that signature comes.
Exactly. And if you are an expat, an entrepreneur, an investor, or retiree, this is an urgent signal for you to get your plane tickets while they're
Yeah.
cheap, while things are quiet in the world. Get
Mhm.
second sets of eyes on your strategy, on your global
Exactly.
mobility, because there is nothing that is happening like it was in 2019. We left in 2019 before all this craziness was in the world, okay?
Mhm.
And now it's a little bit more complex. I mean, I just saw a video yesterday talking about how they don't really want expats in Vietnam and Thailand and
Yeah.
Asia because there's a bunch of crime going on, not necessarily with black people, but with Europeans, with white people. People are coming over there acting a god darn fool, okay? And so these are some of the things you got to pay attention to before you go into a country and they're like, oh,
Mhm.
sorry, we're not really doing these visas anymore. We're not doing this. Join the state of the diaspora because this is exactly what we talk about. It started because we dealt with corruption in Tanzania and we were like, this is the urgent state of the diaspora. We got to tell our folks
Yeah.
about what's happening. But as the world has gotten crazier over time, it's not only about anti corruption, it's about geopolitical risk, safety evaluation, smart investing abroad,
Mhm.
what you need to take care
Sustainability.
of in America before touching that plane. Your ticket is $100. Okay, link in the description, 9 seats left. Now, get this. We're continuing with the CNN article. A day after Trump applied his electronic signature to the agreement, Trump has
Mhm.
signed it. The exact terms of the pact remain known to only a few. We're going to continue. Let's keep going. Neither side has published the 1.5 page text that was formalized in the virtual signing on Sunday, leading to sometimes contradictory statements from Washington and Tehran and Iran. Even officials inside Trump's government offered a slightly different take on how the plan would work. And, that's just what we got going on here now. Back to the G7. Macron and other
Mhm.
groups of 7 leaders have assembled in the Alpine resort Yvon Les Bains, would certainly like to take a glimpse of the agreement before then. So these people are at the G7 summit right
Right on
now.
time.
I
Yeah.
believe it spans an entire week. It has already started. Today is Tuesday, but it started on Monday. But, they're like, we're allies. We're the top 7 G7 dogs out here in the world of the free powers. We would like to see, like,
Mhm.
what's happening with the agreement, but it doesn't look like anybody is actually showing what's happening in the agreement. I mean, most certainly President Donald Trump, if Europe didn't know, if Japan didn't know, if he don't want to show the agreement, he's not going to show the agreement.
Yeah.
If he don't want to go through with the agreement by the time Friday hits, he may not go through with the agreement, but we all just waiting because, from Trump's perspective, it's Trump's world out here, right?
Really.
Neither they nor anyone else outside the negotiating parties appears to have read the text, despite offering hearty congratulations to Trump for help securing it. They're like, we know this guy, you
It's a
can't
good.
really
Yeah.
get around
It's
him.
a
You
businessman.
can't really do anything around him. You can't, confront him too hard, or maybe he'll come and take Denmark and Greenland and
Yeah.
threaten trade war types of things. So they're like, hey, congratulations. You're also turning 80.
Yeah. Happy
This is a
birthday.
good
Yeah.
week for you. Like, America wins.
Man.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah. It's I guess yeah that is something that people don't think about when powerful people are in a room. It's always going to be someone more powerful. And Donald Trump, when he walks in rooms,
He's the alpha.
yeah. So you got to think about that, and it's the 250-year American,
Anniversary.
yeah.
Yeah, July 4th.
You know,
America has been a
so that's
superpower for
that, yeah.
250 years.
That's a big deal in Donald Trump's eyes. He's celebrating all year round. Think about that. Like for real. Like just think about it. I know we're gonna do a video next about this
250 years.
entertainment and stuff, but that's something important to know. With the big seven here, the U.S. is probably one of the top dogs. They do put money into these programs, into these agreements and stuff. So you know, Trump, he is a businessman, and he is
Yeah.
going to negotiate to what is going to work for America. He's going to make America great again. Point blank. Period.
Yeah, I mean, in
That's his
his
goal.
head, it's already great again. He's like, I had this war, even though negotiations weren't the greatest. I think Iran kind of won this negotiation round.
Hmm.
But, leave a comment down below who won the negotiation round. That's maybe why they're not putting it out. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why you said you feel like, this isn't going to last because I don't know. You just got to wait and see. But I do know one thing. If you've been wanting to get out of America, I mean, I'll tell you, even my family has booked their tickets in this window of peace. They're like, oh,
Yep.
this is the perfect time. We're getting out and we're coming to where you are because we see the writing on the wall. I think this is also a testament of how, so many people will
Mm.
leave Africa, leave Asia after maybe they felt like they didn't find success on the continent.
Mm.
But if you plan strategically, and if you're in rooms strategically, I mean, our clients
Like-minded
since
people.
2021, we've had clients that have gone on to go live in Turkey, travel to Uganda, travel to Egypt, travel to Thailand. Now we're
Hmm.
attracting people who were in Japan, who were in Bali, and are like, hey,
Yeah.
I don't want to be in Asia anymore. I want to be in Africa. We're attracting people who are like, hey, I have
Mexico.
properties in
Yeah.
Mexico. I've been to Belize. I've been out here in South America, and it's not all it's cracked up to be. It's a little bit too close to me because Venezuela, Maduro, Cuba. You see what happened with Jamaica recently with the blackout. I mean, being on that side of the world is so risky. And our clients are like, this is why I want to get in the mature adult intensive because I need a table. Quite literally, we're sitting at a table of advisors who are going to come in who have done this before, done this for 6 years, helped over 1,063 plus clients through various programs. They're like, I see what's going on. And you don't have to fail in your maneuver abroad. But the one thing you do need to know is who is still neutral. What
Hmm.
are the political indicators, geopolitical indicators that you need to look at? Now, we have a very rare point of view for expats who are living in Africa. We're not going to tell you Pan African, Pan African, Pan African. We're going to tell you you had better find a territory
Mm.
that is neutral with the United States of America. You
Hmm.
had better find a residency
Oh
that's
yeah.
going to
Especially
last
now.
you 5 to 10 years because guess what's happening in Asia? They're telling expats, hey, y'all got to go. I know what we
Stop.
said, but y'all gotta go. It's a little bit too many of y'all, and y'all act a hot mess. Y'all got to go. Y'all gotta get it together. We're not gonna tell you to jump on a plane without having a business or having your pension.
Mm.
Hmm?
Man,
People ain't
it's a,
talking
it,
about this.
yeah,
Like what?
it's
People
a
ain't
deep
talking about this.
conversation. It's a very deep conversation, and these are the conversations that we do have in a mature adult intensive.
Yeah.
Just this past Sunday, you get what I'm saying? The main thing that I always say, people always say they appreciate like-minded people having a conversation, because when you are thinking about moving abroad, traveling, and really not thinking about coming back to America or your home country, a lot of people gonna look at you like you are crazy. Why would you want to do this? So it is important to have these communities, to have like-minded people around you, so they can understand, and or
Yeah.
they pretty much understand you, and of course give you advice on certain things. There's elders in the groups, there's younger people in the groups,
Yeah.
so it's the best of both worlds, but it's always mature adults, and that's like mentally strong, spiritually strong too. That's one of the main
Mm.
things that a
It
lot of
is.
people have to understand. You
It
have to be
is.
spiritually strong when traveling and moving abroad. So yeah, mature adult intensive,
Absolutely.
guys.
July 5th is the next cohort 10 limited seating available as always. Now back to this G7. The official agenda focused on security, of course, trade, artificial intelligence. We can't leave AI out of this
Of
after the
course not.
US government just had to ban Fable 5 from Anthropic Claude. So strange, right? Maybe I'll do a video on that
Some things
later.
going on, guys.
Energy transitions, and geopolitical stability. These are reasonable and necessary topics, yet every one of those conversations revealed the same underlying concern: control. Artificial intelligence raises questions about who's going to control data. Digital currencies raise questions about who's going to control money and currency. Energy transitions raise questions about, hey, can we even drink water? Can we
Ooh,
have electricity in Europe and America, or are we going to become more like Africa? I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be an even playing field. So you might as well come to the continent while it's up, while the markets are going up, while the increase is here, while the residency options are available before you get into
hmm,
the super hyper surveillance control system. Even discussions about security increasingly revolve around maintaining influence in a world where influence is becoming fractured and
obviously, yeah.
disturbed. The old map is fading, y'all. The new map is being drawn. The problem is that nobody can see yet its final shape, and people are getting in position. If the G7 leaders are getting in position, you should probably get in position too. I
Hmm.
mean, we're not the G7 out here, but you, I, my husband, and all of our groups, our clients, why don't we set our own
Really,
G7 table, the state of
to
the
be honest,
diaspora, the mature adult intensive, with top leaders in their industries, top expats, retirees, people who know that they have years and years in their tenure in education, in cybersecurity, and maybe military training and marketing and
yep,
whatever it is, information technology, real estate,
yep,
lawyers. Like,
investments,
let's
yeah.
do our own advisory seats and advisory tables with elite people in them.
Group economics is very important, and when you travel abroad, you will start to understand that.
Yeah, private groups out here, because the G7 isn't opening to all the folks, right? The G7 is letting you know what they want you to know. And let's be honest, empires seldom hold press conferences and declare their best years are behind them.
Hmm.
Instead, they're going to continue speaking the language of permanence. They're going to continue issuing declarations, summits, confidence, even if secretly the West is crumbling. This is what we got to talk about behind the scenes, things that cannot be spoken about on YouTube.
Hmm.
But until suddenly the world realized the center of gravity has already moved elsewhere, let's be real. Consider Britain after World War II. London remained significant. London, England is still significant, but who wants to go to London, England today? I know I don't. I look at videos of London, England. I'm like, that looks like New Albany, Ohio. I will pass. Okay, I will straight pass. There are certain areas in America that to me look just like Europe, and I'm like, I'm just
Yeah.
uninterested. To be honest with you, I think that world, that's something of the past. I'm not interested in going places that look like Newcastle,
Mm.
Pennsylvania, and stuff like that. Like, who wants to deal with that? The institutions remained impressive, the traditions remained intact in the United Kingdom, but economic gravity was already crossing the Atlantic toward Washington.
Ooh,
1776. Isn't that what President Donald Trump is so excited?
250
But see, that
years.
250 years has passed, and now America's at its point where it's like, hey, this is passing for America too. But everybody was so happy getting off those ships. The Irish, the British, they're at the top of their game. The Germans coming to America like the new world, the new world. It's so great. Well, the new
Dang.
world is now on the African continent. The old world is becoming the new world because there's no new thing under the sun, right? That's what Ecclesiastes says. That's what King Solomon said in his heyday. He looked around, the wisest man on earth. He's like, there is no new thing under
Yeah.
this sun. The
All is
world is
folly.
going in a circle.
Hmm.
But think about it. The same patterns repeated throughout history with Venice, Spain, the Ottoman Empire, the Dutch Republic. Power shifts like a river changing course, not in a single dramatic flood, but through thousands of small movements, which brings us back to France in this historical G7 summit. What felt unusual about this was not what the leaders said, but it was what they did not say. Few discussions were openly addressing the accelerated fragmentation of the global financial system.
Mm.
People also did not even acknowledge the BRICS nations. Mind you, should I again tell you who those are? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, plus because Saudi Arabia,
Yeah, it's
Ethiopia,
more.
there are more people who have joined and are interested, including Thailand. Few admitted that many countries increasingly prefer a multipolar world over a Western led one. Yet those realities were present in nearly every conversation, like invisible ink beneath the surface of
Hmm.
a handwritten letter. The summit felt less like a gathering shaping the future and more like a gathering attempting to manage the coming future.
Yeah,
Okay? So that's our little
that's basically
summation
what
of
it
the
is.
G7 summit. But we're going to continue watching. We're going to report back, of course. But you have a duty here as well. If we're going to report this information to you, If we're coming online,
Hmm.
it's your duty to share this information. You have a calling right now, a duty to your fellow state of the diaspora men and women, your fellow expats and entrepreneurs, whether you're in Australia, Japan, Thailand. We don't care where you are in the world, Belize, Mexico, it could be anywhere. Canada, shout out to y'all in Canada if y'all listening.
Not,
Share this video in
yeah,
your groups. Share this in your WhatsApp messages. Share this on your Facebook Messenger platforms because they don't want you to understand what's truly happening behind the scenes. But
mm,
we're going to let you know. Okay?
yeah. And guys, the main thing is to listen. Don't just let it go in one ear out the other. You really got to understand the future. You get what I'm saying? This is not just going to be like tomorrow. They are plan. They always plan years in advance, but they are telling you the truth. They are telling you the details right now. And if you're not understanding it, if you don't have that maturity mindset, I'm telling you, you gotta you really it's time for it. It's not time to play around. Like they tell you the truth sooner than later. Now, usually they might say the truth 2 years later, but now it's like the same day. They let you know
They
what's
got
going on.
time now.
So, guys, make sure you like the video, leave your comments below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and look, we'll talk to you in the next one. But just make sure you intake this, understand it, and move with the root. Move with the Ruach. So,
The
all
spirit of
praises
Yah.
to the Most
Hallelujah.
High, guys.
Glory.
We'll talk to you in the next one.
Yeah.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.